You can see that it wears on the kids. You can see that it wears on the parents, it wears on the school district. So there is some traumatic effect to it.
3 times in the last 4 weeks, officers have gotten the call they fear most in Summit County, an active shooter at a school. First Summit High School, then 2 other elementary schools in Breckenridge.
But of course, we all respond. So every incident becomes all of our incidents.
All were fake. Summit County Sheriff Jamie Fitzsimons can't say much about the investigation since it's still open.
But are we narrowing on suspects? We do have a good idea of where they're coming from. Don't know if, what the enforcement side of that looks like, or if we'll actually be able to reach out and touch these people.
He is willing to talk about why calls like this worry him.
One of the biggest fears is that people, students, businesses, parents will become complacent in this. And that's when it becomes dangerous.
The other fear?
Is this someone testing response times because they're a nefarious actor and they're really planning something else? And they want to see, days of the week, times, responses, who shows up, how serious law enforcement takes it.
A scary thought.
They both play into each other, right? Wear down the community enough to where people don't pay attention to it, and then, have an act somewhere else.
But there is a benefit. We've shown you what these responses look like. Like this video showing the Durango police storming the high school 2 weeks ago to check for threats after a similar call.
Now that everything's on body-worn cameras, it makes it really easy to go back and look at the tactics.
Fitzsimons says these kinds of situations actually help officers and deputies drill on what to do in the worst-case scenario.
There's nothing like a plan until you test it. And we've had plenty of opportunities.
So Fitzsimons' message, be vigilant. Don't let these false alarms wear down your alertness. He says the investigation will keep going to try to find who's involved in this, though that may never happen if these callers are overseas, they're coming from somewhere else.
I'm glad he brings up all those points. We can't say this is nothing, but we also, if somebody's testing the response, that's really scary.
He says his deputies, the officers up in Summit County, basically any police officers across the state, they are always going to treat this as a real threat. He just hopes the community does that too, because you've got to remain vigilant. And with this happening so often, he doesn't want people to become used to the idea that it's a threat, that it's a hoax and not a real threat, just in case something bad happens.
Always be on the side, be vigilant. All right, thank you, Steve.